Hi everybody, this is Chris Steele from Fun Infused Games. I'm trying to do one of these devlog things again. I haven't done one of these for months, possibly years. I did two of them a while back. I did sound only. I didn't kind of get into the video thing. But partly the reason I'm doing this is to kind of try it out, see how the video stuff works. I'm getting ready for a Kickstarter for Hypership 2. And part of that's going to be talking in front of a camera and explaining why people should give me money to help develop Hypership. And I want to get a little bit of experience before I do that, so I'm not finding out how bad I'm at that sort of thing when it's really important. So I'm probably just going to have a little bit of fun with this. I'm going to try to maybe do this a little more regular thing, because I know I've been out of touch with a lot of people as to what I'm working on. Probably people might wonder if I disappeared off the face of the earth or what, or at least when it comes to game development, because I haven't shown a lot lately. So primarily the thing that I've been working on lately is Abduction Action for the Ouya. It's this tiny little guy right over here is the Ouya. Hello, I'm an Ouya! And that's got a USB cable running from my PC, which is right down here. And it I've got two different projects. I've got a XNA project. Actually, it might be an XNA project still, but I build all the content in that. It exports as like XMV files, and then I copy those over to a Xamarin project. Xamarin is it's what you use so you can deploy like C# code to Android devices, and that's ultimately what I decided to do with the port of Abduction Action, because it was easiest to do that. Instead of having to rewrite the entire game engine, I could just put in the MonoGame pieces. Maybe I'll talk more about the whole process anyway another time. It's a lot of details, but the important thing is I've got Abduction Action running on the Ouya, and I'm going to start that up, and it should be running in just a second here. Alright, so I've started the build process of Abduction Action on the Ouya, the build and deploy process. It's kind of similar-ish to deploying the XNA games onto the Xbox. I think it's a little bit slower when you have to build, and it does kind of weird things. Like I use isolated storage to save like the highest level reached in my game, high scores, some option settings, and I haven't exactly figured out when it does it, but it seems to periodically wipe those out, like all those save settings, and basically start over with a fresh install, which is slightly annoying sometimes, because I would like to have my high level maintained, have my options maintained. What I ultimately end up doing is putting in some debug shortcuts, so I can just hit a key like and unlock all the levels, and a few other things like that. I will hopefully remember to take those out before I release the game. Otherwise, don't tap the L button if you don't want to be a huge cheater. It apparently helps if you have the USB cord plugged in, because it can't deploy to the Ouya if it doesn't have an Ouya connected. Alright, there we go. Now it's popping up a little select device thing, and I can do different emulators and then the Ouya itself. I haven't really played with the emulators. There's not like a Ouya emulator listed. There's maybe a way to do that. I'm not positive. It certainly would be a lot quicker, because the deployment process is it's a little bit slower when you're trying to test just like small changes and stuff. And I'm the kind of developer who makes a change, and then I want to go look at it right away, and then I'll make another small change. I don't typically make a lot of changes and go look at them. I'll make one change, look at it, one change, look at it. I think this system works a little bit better because if you end up breaking things and you have a lot of changes, it's harder to pin down exactly what you did wrong. Whereas I'm spending more time deploying things, but I know right away this tiny little grain of salt of my game doesn't work, and I don't have to screw around to try to figure that out. That timed up pretty well, huh? It's like magic. You are all thoroughly impressed with me right now. So, it's deployed, it's loading, it's running my game. This is a port of the Xbox Live indie game, Abduction Action, that I made earlier. Some of you are maybe familiar with it, hopefully familiar with it. It was a decently received game. I did all the artwork for it, and it was kind of poor because I'm a terrible artist. But being my second game and coming off my first game, selling not well, it was my decision to spend as little on art and other assets. So this is probably my cheapest made game. The music was all like royalty-free stuff. The sound effects were all stuff that I got royalty-free. Actually, this song you're hearing right now is the one song that I paid for. Every other song was royalty-free. The vast majority of the graphics were royalty-free. Not royalty-free, sorry, I misspoke. Were made by me, and I paid myself royalties for those. And so what I'm doing for the Ouya port and probably like an Android port and maybe an iOS port and a PC port is I hired someone that can graphic good to replace all of the crummy graphics in my game with nice graphics that you wouldn't be embarrassed about. So that's really what I've been working on lately. It's very, very close to done. I've hit a point where I've got 2 levels that need art, and that's really it left in the game. And it's just I'm waiting on the artist to get back with me with more art, and then I've got a little bit of work to update the game because like some of the walking frames and some of the dazed, not walking frames, the walking animations, the dazed animations, they now include a lot more frames than they used to. So it's minor modifications to get them in, but it's still a few. There's apparently a bug with Xamarin too, which has been kind of a pain. For whatever reason, there's something in the project file it expects that I don't have, and I don't know exactly what that is. It probably has to do with the fact that I started this when I had a 30-day trial, and I could run Xamarin from within Visual Studio, and that ran out, and then I had to start using the Xamarin Studio tool. And now I can't add assets to my game through Xamarin Studio. I have to manually hack the project file, which is kind of annoying. You know, instead of just dragging and dropping a collection of files, I have to manually put them all in and figure out what new files there are, and not double up on old files. I'm told that that's going to be fixed in the next version of Xamarin Studio. I don't know what the ETA on that is, but I'm dealing with it for now. This is running MonoGame, or using MonoGame to run on the Ouya. It wasn't really a big departure from XNA. I did a blog post I put on, I don't know if you say it Gamasutra, maybe somebody leave me a comment. But I did a blog post on there They detailed a lot more of the problems. I'm not going to go into those right now. The last sort of major stumbling block I had was getting the in-app purchases to work. One of the interesting things about the Ouya is you can't actually like outright buy any of the games through the store. Like the storefront on the Ouya lets you download the game, and then within the game, every game has to have a system to purchase it or to purchase consumables or anything like that. So every game is using in-app purchases to either unlock the full version or do microtransactions and stuff. I've kind of come to not like microtransactions so much over the last year or so. Those of you that knew me, talked to me at GDC, know that I was actually going to a lot of talks about that, and just hearing a lot of those talks turned me off on the whole concept, because the focus wasn't really on how do we use microtransactions to make a better game. It was very much how do we maximize the money we can get from the player. And that's not what I want to do. I'm running a studio, it's a business, I would like money. I like money. But ultimately, I want to make the best game possible, and it just seems like the more that I looked into microtransactions, the more I felt like I would be creating a worse game by using them. But that microtransactions or in-app purchases was the last sort of major hurdling block thing that I had to do, and I'm going to do a blog post about that, I think, too, because I couldn't really find any good tutorials on the process. There were some example applications that you could download, and I had to go and kind of piece through those and see what they're doing. And it wasn't just this is the in-app purchase. This is a in-app purchase. This is checking a bunch of other things. It's had a bunch of UI stuff that I didn't care about. So I've got a very sort of bare bones approach to it that I think people will like to see. I've just got to be less lazy about putting that together. But we should hopefully be able to release this on Ouya later this month. My other big project that I've talked about a little bit already today is Hypership Out of Control 2. We released the original Hypership 3 years ago now, and it's a game a lot of people seem to really enjoy. I enjoy it myself too. I've been just over the last 3 years, I have had a lot of new ideas for the game, improvements, tweaks, things I'd like to see differently. I've been keeping a list of all those, and it's gotten pretty massive. I'm not sure if I'll be able to put every one of them in, and some of the ideas that I thought at the time were good ideas are probably terrible ideas. But I basically got an example of the first wave of the game put together. I think I might redo it a little bit, because I kind of put in game elements as I completed them, as I got artwork for them, and it wasn't always in the best flow, the best level flow doing it that way. So I'm going to probably readjust the level. I think it can look better, and it can be more fun, because I want to be able to show the vast majority of that level when I do my Kickstarter video, because I think it's going to really show off the sort of improvement in the game that I want to show. And I'm basically going to be saying, I financed this first wave, this is how it looks, please help me get money so I can afford the same amount of artwork, the same amount of music for the next 9 to do the same quality. And so anyways, like I said earlier, I'm doing these video blog kind of things to keep you updated what I'm working on, and to also practice for when I do the Kickstarter video for Hypership. I don't want to be stumbling through it. I can already tell I'm saying a lot, and I think I'll probably have to script what I say better, or have a lot of cut out chunks of my voice so that I don't say that a lot. I'm mostly shooting from the hip right now. I've actually got a pretty good idea of what I'm going to say on the Hypership one, so it should probably be less of a problem, because I don't really know where I'm going with today's talk. I just sort of wanted to show you that, wanted to talk Hypership, and see where it goes. So please, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you don't think I'm a total buffoon, or at least not any more buffoon than you thought previously, which was probably pretty high. So, anyways, let me know in the comments, let me know on Twitter, come to my door. I'm in Madison, Wisconsin. You can visit me, knock on my door, annoy me. I don't mind, especially if it's late at night while I'm sleeping. That is the best time. So, in closing, the end.